Welcome back. Well, one of the big challenges many new parents face is how and specifically when to transition their child to solid foods. Here to break it down and provide some incredibly important information is holistic nutritionist Jessica Moforth. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me back again.
So when do you recommend introducing your baby to solid foods?
Around 6 months of age. You hear a lot of different controversy as to when to start, but I recommend starting at about 6 months of age to give that digestive system time to prepare itself.
Now, do you phase it in? Do you do it all at one go? How do you do it?
You want to start, I recommend starting with fresh fruits and vegetables, sticking with organic. You don't want to go into starting all different foods. You want to start with one food source at a time, so one fruit or whatever vegetables you're starting with. But always remember that it's just an introduction.
Okay.
So your baby's main source of nutrients is always going to come from either its formula or its breast milk until they're at least a year of age.
So any recommendation of what kind of fruit or vegetable to start with?
Yeah, I'd start with a little bit more sweeter and smoother.
Okay.
So for instance, butternut squash and pears. A lot of moms want to start in right away with vegetables, but because breast milk and formula is actually quite sweet, it's harder for the baby to cooperate and get it down if it's something like broccoli and spinach right away.
So you say stick with one for a while. How long though?
I would stick with one at probably a lunch or a dinner for a good 4 to 5 days. Reason being is there's sensitivities and allergies. So sensitivities can take up to 4 to 5 days before you can see a reaction such as changes in bowel habits, little rashes, stuff like that, as where allergies show up.
That way you'll know.
Yeah, exactly. That way you'll know. Allergies show up more instantly within the next couple of hours as well. It's great to get a little journal, and that way you can document which food you start when, and then you can track any sort of symptoms.
And now, one thing I noticed is you mentioned lunch or dinner as opposed to breakfast. Why?
Yes. Well, breakfast is the baby's usually super fussy and hungry. I find that a lot of women, my clients, typically have more breast milk production in the morning and less in the afternoon. Not everybody. So it's easier to get cooperation as well as a better appetite from the baby in more the lunch and then the dinner. So start with a lunch, do a couple foods, then incorporate a dinner, and then you can go for breakfast.
Okay, fruits and vegetables ideally first. A lot of parents are introducing rice cereal. What are your thoughts on that?
You hear a lot about rice cereal and meat around 4 months of age. That is not my opinion at all. You're really putting a huge detriment on the digestive system. So rice and meat have been brought up because of iron consumption. Really, there's not that much iron absorption. It's a poor absorption right in baby rice. It's only 5%. Meat is high in iron, yes, but the baby doesn't have a full production of stomach acid until about 10 months of age. So you're just going to set the digestive system and the immune system up for detriment later on in life, which can cause a lot of allergies and sensitivities to foods.
Okay, and you brought some of the things there. What is this?
That is called the wean machine. So for instance, things like, especially in the beginning, avocados. It's baby proof.
Perfect. And so apparently news anchor proof.
Yeah, you take the lid off. There's 2 different sizes of holes in there, and it comes with a little spoon. So when you're dealing with fruits and vegetables like avocados and bananas, all you do is stick a little chunk in there.
That's cool, like a garlic
give it a
press.
Squish. Yeah, exactly like that. And then right in there, it's like your little bowl, and it's perfect right off the spoon. Later on, when you start introducing more foods, steamed vegetables work great in this as well.
Okay.
Then we've got the squirt. The squirt is one of my favorites. My clients love it. So it's silicone, so it's toxin-free. You just put your little cubes of homemade purees in here when you're on the go. Then do it up. It's got a stopper.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Just throw it in your baby bag, pop off the stopper. There's a little hole. Give it a squirt, and out comes the baby food.
And it's food that you blend, so you know where it comes from.
Where it
and you
comes
know what's
from.
in it.
It's organic, hopefully, toxin-free. And it tastes a lot different. If you went and tasted food out of either a Tetra Pak or the little baby jars, as opposed to homemade purees, it tastes totally different.
Okay, so you got the avocados, you got the apples, you got the pears, you got the bananas.
Yep.
So these are all good to start with at about 6 months.
These are great to start with, absolutely. We've got carrots, we've got broccoli. Say you start with pear and butternut squash, then you know that those 2 are good products. There's no allergies. Then you can introduce broccoli, and if all of a sudden you know there's no sensitivities with that, then you can start mixing broccoli and avocado and broccoli and pear, and Get experimental, add spices. Spices are full of antioxidants and nutrients that your body can, or the babies can be introduced to. Stay away from obviously spicy stuff, but things like turmeric and cinnamon.
And eventually their taste buds will grow and adapt, and they'll be able to eat anything almost.
Yeah, which is something you're not going to find in conventional products.
Good stuff. Holistic nutritionist Jessica Moforth. Thanks so much.
Thank
Great
you very
advice.
much for having me.